Welcome to TV20 Sports Classics. I'm your host, Christian Patterson. The City of Cleveland's government access station has been covering recreational sports events for over 20 years. There have been some amazing games and even a few surprises along the way. We here at TV20 would like to take a look back at some of these memorable events. So sit back and enjoy TV20 Classic Sports. We hope you enjoy.
And good evening. Welcome back. We've got another football game in store for you, the Flag Football All-Stars. This one is going to be the Midgets. These are 9-year-olds to 11-year-olds, and another great game. We had a good one in the first ball game, another one in the second one, Tim.
Well, these are the best of all of them. The kids, you never know what they're going to do from one direction to another. It's the Midget League. These kids are 8 to 11-year-olds, and just like the juniors, they were selected as all-stars from their league, so it's really going to be an exciting thing to watch.
And watch these youngsters. Usually the younger kids provide more excitement than you could ever imagine when you're watching any type of sport, be it football or basketball. Pretty soon we'll be getting the announcement of who the players are in this ball game, as we will go to our field announcer for the introductions of the players in this Midget All-Star contest.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Brookside Park, City of Cleveland All-Star Flag Football. Tonight's second game will feature the Midget All-Stars. First, introducing in the royal blue, the AFC All-Stars. Wearing number 1 from Kavasic Recreation, Anthony Watkins. Number 2 from Zone Recreation, Ken Bong. Wearing number 3 from Clark Recreation, Akil Seals. From Glenville, number 5, Terry Martin. Wearing number 8 from Clark Recreation, Brighton Hill. Wearing number 9 from Glenville Recreation, Markeith Williams. Number 10 from Sterling, Mark Baca. Wearing number 11 from Central Recreation, Christopher Wiley. Number 12 from Halloran, Scott Burns. Number 13 from Halloran, David Robinson. Wearing number 14 from Zone, Ron Bunner. Wearing number 16 from Clark Recreation, Jose Garcia. The assistant coach for the AFC All-Stars, Mr. Angel Maldonado from Michael Zone Recreation. The AFC head coach, Mr. Bill Mazzio from Clark Recreation. Introducing in red, the NFC All-Stars. Wearing number 1 from Fairfax Recreation, David Cook. From Kennedy, number 2, Brandon Mitchell. Wearing number 3 from Estabrook, Sarah Douglas. From Stellenbosch, number 4, Jason Jones. Wearing number 5 from Woodland, Damian Houston. From Lonnie Burton, number 6, Milton Arroyo. Wearing number 7 from Cadell, Gian Scales. Wearing number 8 from Estabrook, Josh Verzi. Wearing number 9 from Cadell, Giovanni Sturgis. From Fairfax, number 10, Thomas Freeman. From Thurgood Marshall, number 11, Timothy Goodwin. Number 12, from Lonnie Burton, Quentin Blade. Wearing number 13, from Stellenbosch, Nick Edelberg. From Hamilton, number 14, DeLorean White. From Thurgood Marshall, number 15, Farrell Knox. The NFC All-Stars assistant coach is Mr. Don Kelbacher. NFC All-Stars head coach Mark Mathis from Estabrook Recreation Center. Presenting the colors for the performance of our national anthem, Boy Scout Troop number 920. And performing the national anthem this evening, young Mr. Joey Dobey.
Joey. It was Joey Dubé. Joey Dubé is a student in the cultural arts programs for the band instruments under Joe DeJarnay at Cadell Recreation Center. Again, a lot of the viewers may say, hey, my kid's not an athlete. You don't like playing in the sports. Well, there's a lot of other programs that are offered in recreation. And later in this game, we're going to get to meet the Commissioner of Recreation. He'll be able to talk about some of them specifically in the cultural arts as well as the aquatic fields.
And that's one of the things about the Cleveland Recreation Department. It's just more than sports. There's so much more that kids can get involved with that people in the community really don't know about, and this is one of the things with the broadcast of this ball game that we'll be able to do that. Now we'll go to the midfield for the coin toss with Commissioner Wayne Moss.
The honorary referee for the official coin toss is the Commissioner of Recreation, Mr. Wayne Moss.
Red, you will call it in the air. All right. Call it in the air. Tails is called. Tails it is. Red, you have the option to kick off, receive, or defer to the second half. You'd like to defer to the second half? Blue, would you like to kick off or receive? Would you like to receive the ball? Which goal would you like to defend? Defend angle. Okay, move over here. Blue, move this way. Blue will receive the ball. Red will be kicking this way. Guys, shake hands.
Again, we're looking at head referee Jim Clark from Stella Walsh, along with the Commissioner of Recreation Wayne Moss for the honorary coin toss before this Midget All-Star game. It's the AFC again winning the toss, and they'll be receiving, Adam.
And the NFC will defer to the second half, so they'll have the option of either taking the football or kicking off coming up in the second half, and that'll depend on how they do in this first half of action. Now, when you look at the midgets in this game, the ages, they're a little bit younger, and you usually, when you have the youngest kids, I think that's where most of the excitement comes from, because these kids really play their hearts out.
you know, they're just, their excitement and enthusiasm is just tremendous. And really, when you look at our country today, boy, if we were all like the young kids today, ready to go, we'd be in tremendous shape.
Well, we did the basketball All-Star games a couple of months back, and I thought the most fun we had was watching the little kids play, and they go all out, and sometimes they provide more excitement than the older kids because it's just that heart that they have inside. There you see the coaches from the NFC team. They are dressed in red. Mike Mathis and Don Kelbacher from Estabrook Recreation Center.
And one of the things is, a lot of times we hear about, well, what can we do for the city? Well, here is Don Kelbacher and Mark Mathis, who are volunteers. How many of us that you hear when you come back to the Ron Jenkins, the Leon Jenkins, the Mark Kelbachers, giving back to the community? Hey, you know, you don't have to be the richest guy in town to give back. Let's go out there and volunteer, give some of the things that you learned when you were growing up. And one of the things that the Recreation Department's always looking for is people like Don Kelbacher and Mark Mathis that have spent 3-4 years over at Estabrook Recreation as volunteer coaches.
And as a youngster myself growing up on the west side, I hung out at the Estabrook Recreation Center. So I know what it's all about, especially in the city of Cleveland with the Recreation Department. Now the Midgets will be kicking off from the 35-yard line, and we're just about set for this second game. This will be the Midget All-Stars, the NFC in red, the AFC is in blue, and the NFC will be kicking off to the AFC. That one will be a short squib kick, and it is picked up by Akil Seals. And the offense for the AFC team will be out on the field first, and making the kick was Sarah Douglas from Estabrook. And that's one of the things. We'll be seeing younger, we've seen a couple of girls in the first game. We'll see a few more in this game.
Yeah, this is one of the great things that flag football is all about. It's like boys, girls can play. Everyone can get involved. And the program consists all the way from 5-year-olds all the way up through 17 years old.
There you see the AFC and their royal blue jerseys. They will start off on offense, and pretty much a basic set. They'll have one man in the backfield. They'll have 2 receivers and the 3 down linemen. And the shotgun snap to Christopher Wiley as he moves to the far side, picks up about 5-6 yards on the play. There you see Christopher Wiley, the 5'4", 11-year-old who attends Charles Mooney.
Again, his favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. Favorite player, Jerry Rice, the 49ers.
Wiley looks, big heavy rush, throws, the pass is in and out of the hands of Akil Seals, and boy, you look at Christopher Wiley, he just wound up and fired that football to Seals. And one thing, when you look at the cold weather that we're having this evening, that makes the football feel like a rock.
You know, plus these youngsters have been out here warming up for a little while, and they had been out in the cold air as well, getting ready for this game, so I'm sure that's going to play a role.
We'll probably see a little bit more running than passing in this ball game. In flag football, the quarterback will always be in the shotgun from the center position. And the pitch is to the backfield, and that one is a fumble, and it's picked up by number 5. That's Damian Houston. He runs downfield, and he picks up about 15-20 yards on the fumble. And similar to the first game that we had, we start off with a turnover and a big defensive play.
Now, one of the things that we have to be leery of, Adam, is in the All-Star game, we saw it here. Again, the leagues, we set our rules that the fumbles, as long as it doesn't create a safety problem. Now, some centers have the right to change their rules for their own house leagues for their convenience. So some kids may see a fumble and think it's dead, but that would, in our regular citywide rules, as long as there's not a safety issue. And we can see here, definitely there's no safety issue. And I'm sure number 3, probably in his league, he thought, hey, fumbles are dead.
Right, that was Akil Seals. He stopped right on the play. And the timeout is called on the field. Both teams huddling up. We're just underway in this first quarter of play. And The NFC Midgets in red, there you see they're talking to their coach. They will have the football after picking up a fumble and running it down about 15 yards. And that's very interesting, a lot of the different house rules, and when you come into a game like this, they just have to remember they've been used to doing that so much that it's just a change of habit. So there you see the AFC team, or the NFC in red. Quarterback Thomas Freeman looking to run to the outside, turns and spins away from one defensive player and is finally brought down. Good pickup there by Thomas Freeman.
Now there's a flag on the play.
And it looks like it may be on the NFC team, so we'll soon get the call from the referee.
Well, we'll take a look at it and see what the call could be here. Again, we're following number 10. And we'll see here now. Some people call it a spin. It looked like he leaped. They may end up calling hurling, but we'll see what the referee has.
Number 10, first down over, play number 4. First down over, play number 4.
Okay, that's what they called hurdling. And again, because the flag is on one level, player jumps with both feet in the air, it would be considered hurdling and illegal.
Well, the pitch goes to Freeman right side, and he's driven out of bounds. So it looks like the NFC team will just primarily right now go to the ground game, and I believe they do have to go to the end zone for the touchdown. They do not have an opportunity for the first down. So this will be the 5th play of the quarter in flag football, 12 plays to a quarter. Quarterback looking to throw. That is Timothy Goodwin. He runs to the right side, slips and falls. He had some room, but he lost the footing on the wet grass, and the young man, they're not wearing cleats, and just lost some footing on this very wet grass here at Elder Park.
Well, we talked about the cleats earlier in the ball game, and I'm sure as we get on later in the ball game, the field become more slippier, more wet and could be slip. Is that one of those tongue twisters that we have?
It's either that or the cold is just numbing our faces, and we can't speak as well because there you see the coaches there for the.
Let's see what the coach has to say.
Pitching it back to the quarterback or running back, and just pushing it, nothing fancy.
Pretty simple philosophy, just smash mouth football. You just want to run the football in, and nothing fancy. And in these all-star games, sometimes you really don't need to get fancy and just use simple basics. Quarterback Thomas Freeman, Timothy Goodwin is in the backfield, and that's been the big offense there for the NFC team in red. Shotgun formation as we're just about set. They run the fake reverse. Quarterback is running. He's got some room on the inside, and he goes in for the touchdown. Timothy Goodwin with the fake inside handoff. Quarterback sneak, rolls and goes in for the touchdown.
Well, Timothy Goodwin told us before the game that Eric Metcalf was his favorite player, along with his favorite team, the Cleveland Browns. And he sure gave us a little look here. To the outside, one missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, and it's touchdown, NFC All-Stars.
Well, David Robinson had a hand on the flag. It just didn't come off, and Goodwin comes up with the score, and that was good for 15 yards. So right now, the NFC out on top, 6-0. And they'll have another quarterback in the backfield, Jason Jones, on the extra point. He looks, big rush, and he is finally tackled in the backfield by Brighton Hill. So good defensive play there. There you just had that defensive surge going in and forcing the quarterback not able to find his receivers.
Now, Adam, when we look at this replay here, you can see obviously he's wearing tennis shoes, and we've talked about some slippage. Well, here it is. Couldn't cut back. Again, nice pressure by the AFC number 8, which is Brighton Hill. He's from the Jaguars of Clark Recreation. And we've talked about we're going to be selecting an offensive player and a defensive player.
And we're just about set for the kickoff in this. The NFC leading it 6-0. On a very fine run by Goodwin, 15 yards on the quarterback sneak. The NFC team in red will be kicking off to the AFC team, which is dressed in blue. We've got one more game after this one, and that proves to be very interesting. We always have interesting contests when we have these all-star contests, Tim. That one's a low liner, and it is picked up by Christopher Wiley. He runs up the middle still, and he tripped over a couple of his own players. He had a lot of daylight. Make that Anthony Watkins. And cold weather and knocking into another player, that's going to spell a big hurt.
Well, we're looking at the officials here on the plane. We'll look at the replay and we'll see where the hit comes. You can see he cuts back. He had a little wall there formed. I think what ended up happening is he ran into his own player. It was number 11, Chris Wiley. Like they banged knees.
Take your time. You gotta come out of the game, though. You gotta come out, though.
And Anthony Watkins will sit down for a play. But like you said, Tim, he did have a nice run. He had a little bit of wall, and he just flew right through the wedge. So the AFC team will have the football. They will try to get their offense on track. The last time they did have the football, they fumbled it, and the NFC was able to pick it up and was able to score off the turnover. They use two running backs a little bit closer as their blocking backs. Quarterback looking to throw. This one is going to fire a long way, and Christopher Wiley could not get the pass as he was trying to get it to Markeith Williams. Played for the Glenville O.J. Simpsons.
And again,
Captain Ray.
we'll go to the referee and see what we have here. There's a penalty on the play.
Take the penalty. It'll be
Well, it looks like it's going to go against the AFC.
We have an illegal formation on the offense. Only 2 men on the line of scrimmage. Be first down over. Repeat play number 8.
Tim, in flag football, you need 3 men on the offensive line to have a legal formation.
Now, one of the things to keep in mind when we say line of scrimmage, everyone thinks center and 2 guards. It could be center, 2 wide receivers. They don't have to be lined up anywhere near the center, but as long as they're on the line of scrimmage.
Well, they'll go to the pitch to the running back, and a very fine defensive play there by number 14, and that is DeLorean White, who made the great play, who read the pitch all the way from the onset.
Again, DeLorean White is a 7th grader at St. Catherine's School. 5'1", 11 years old. We look at the replay here. You'll see he comes up big. Nice tackle. Good job.
Well, actually, that was a very good play by Akil Seals, the running back, who the pitch wasn't right to him. He had to jump up and get it, but the last time he had a pitch, he fumbled. This time he hung on to it, but the defense made a very nice play. A 2nd down situation. They do have an opportunity to go for the first down. They need about 18 yards to go for the first down. Wiley, the quarterback, gets the snap. He looks. He wants to throw. The pass is partially blocked, and we're going to have a flag on the play. It was intercepted, but was the quarterback down before the pass went off? And we also have another flag on the play, as the referees huddle and discuss what the violation was.
Okay, now we're going to see the officials get together. Again, we're looking at the replay, and we'll see if he's down. Obviously, we have a rough. Again, the players are instructed, but I don't see the flags coming off. So apparently, I'm sure what they're talking about is an inadvertent whistle.
Now you hit.
As he discusses the violation, if any, with the AFC team.
Well, let's see what he's saying here.
Hey, where was the original line of scrimmage? We had an inadvertent whistle, okay, which results in a dead play. The offense has the option to replay the down or take what happened on the play, which is an interception by the defense. The offense has taken the option to replay the down, 2nd down, play number 8.
Outstanding job by Jim Clark and the officials. Again, there was a penalty, but on that play, you do not blow the whistle. So what he said is the whistle was blown in error, and we're going to correct it, which is basically the same as the high school rule.
Christopher Wiley running up there, and Jim Tunney would be proud of him by clearly explaining what had happened on the play. Sometimes referees don't do that great of a job of explaining what occurs.
Well, we're looking at the replay here. It's number 11, Chris Wiley. Again, he played over at Central Recreation on the Audubon team, 6th grader, and Charles Mooney Junior High.
Favorite team, the Cowboys. Favorite player, Jerry Rice. He'll be heading to the Hall of Fame. Oh, Riley is being flushed out in a very good defensive play there by Damian Houston, who came into the backfield, and that'll be a loss of yardage. So that'll force a 4th down and long situation. And as we talk about in the flag football games, they'll have to tell the referees whether they want to go for it or not.
Well, we can see here, talk about defense and a sack for the NFC. Damian Houston is a 6th grader at St. Thomas Aquinas.
At number 1, blue, both penalties are declined. It'll be 4th down, play number 11. 4th down, play 11. We need to declare.
Well, will the AFC kick, or will they try to go for it? The NFC leading the ball game 6-0. The NFC is in red, the AFC in blue. On the punts, there is no rush on the kicker.
Again, and that's for safety reasons. Obviously, we don't want injuries.
And the men on the line have to wait until the ball is kicked.
That's correct.
That one's a high, but it will be short, and it will get an AFC-NFC bounce. And down on the pile, the NFC picking up the football. And picking that up was Josh Verzee out of the Estabrook Recreation Center, plays for the Dolphins. There you see the ball bouncing.
Okay, now is this touch? We're going to take a look at it and see. We can see there was a touch, but I couldn't tell if it was a blue or the red. It looked blue, which is really a first touching. Now the officials ruled correctly, ignore first touching and take them where they recovered the ball.
So the NFC team will have the football. They're in the huddle. And let's see who they'll have as quarterback. They'll have, I believe, Jason Jones. Been switching it around a little bit in this quarter. Oh, now they'll have Josh Verzee as the quarterback. He gets the snap and runs. He's got a couple of blocks. Still on his feet. He's running down the sideline. And he's finally brought down. A very nice run by Josh Verzee. And that'll end the quarter, but it was a very fine run. A great run by Verzee.
I am Michael. I love to recycle. I do it with my bicycle. I do it from my tricycle. I do it in the summertime, or even when there's an icicle. I place it all in a special bin. Plastic bottles, glass, and paper, again and again. Keep them together, rinsed and cleaned, but no plastic bags, please, or you'll damage the machines. So join me and your neighbors. Recycling's no chore. Check out the new website to find out some more.
So the AFC will have the football. Then actually, they made a very good defensive stand, especially holding on 4 straight plays. The quarterback for the AFC, Brighton Hill, keeps running. He's still down the sideline, and he, I believe, is going to be short of the first down. But a very fine run by Brighton Hill. Plays for the Clark Jaguars.
Down, play number 7. 2nd down, play 7.
It's one of those new teams coming in the NFL next year, I believe from Jacksonville.
Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers. There you see the replay. And Brighton Hill picking up a very good block. And coming up with the defensive play is Timothy Goodwin, the defensive back there for the NFC team. So Brighton Hill is the quarterback. They look for the pitch. They get it off to the man. That is Akil Seals. He does pick up the first down and then some, but we may have another flag on the play.
And again, I'm trying to see what they're calling here. because from what I can see, this is strictly legal. It's actually a forward pass thrown underhand. It's perfectly legal here. We have a tackle downfield.
First down, right?
We're going to see what the officials are going to rule.
You give him the...
Well, the referee sorting out where the penalty will go and talking it over with the players. And it's going to go against the offense, the AFC. And that one is a big penalty.
You got an illegal block in the back on number 2 after the first down occurred. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down and 2 cones. First down and 2 cones, play number 7.
Okay, so they have an illegal block in the back on number 2.
Con Vang. And so they'll have a first down. Oh, and about a bus ride to get to the first down. They have to go almost the entire length of the field to get a first down. And there is the quarterback, Brighton Hill, passing it off. He gets it off to Akil Seals, who picks up maybe a couple of yards on the play. They still have a long way to go for that first down. So far, the AFC has been penalized 3 times for 25 yards.
Well, we can see here a little pass out to the flat. Again, with the Midgets, we're seeing
on the offense. The second down, penalties decline, second down. Play number 10.
So we're here in play number 10. So that means there's 3 plays to go here in the half. 10, 11, and 12. They're going to have to come up with something big to get here on the board.
And they need to go about 40 yards for the first down. There's a fumble, and picking it up, still running, is Jose Garcia. Jose Garcia picks it up, runs to the opposite side, and he's finally brought down. And that could have been a big mistake. But Garcia was able to pick up the fumble and run it out deep out of the territory.
Again, we're going to look at it here. Looks like it was a fumble. Again, he's coming back to pick it up. And you have to give his team credit. They did come back, try to help. You can kind of see they're forming a line here. He sees 4 blockers in the blue. He gets behind them. And you see his speed gets him to the outside. Now, if he can pick up 2 more blocks here, he's got a chance to get to the outside. It was a great tackle by number 9, Giovanni Sturgis from Cadell Recreation Center.
In the back, number 13 offense, half the distance to the goal. Second down over, play number 8.
We had a push to the back, and I believe that was on the downfield block. So that pushes them halfway back to the goal line, and there goes Verzi running to the right side, and this AFC team has not been able to get anywhere on track on offense. The defense for the NFC has been able to stifle that.
Now for our viewers, whenever there is a penalty on the play and it doesn't carry an automatic first down or a loss of down, the play would be played over again. You can see here a tackle on number 8.
DeLorean White making the play. Very good defensive play there.
So right now we should be at 3rd down, play number 11.
There was only 1 guy here.
And the NFC is leading in this ball game 6-0. If you're just joining us on TV35, this is the City of Cleveland Recreation Flag Football All-Star Games. This is the AFC-NFC matchup of the Midgets. Right now we have a 3rd down situation. Verzi is looking to try to get the offense on track or make that Brighton Hill. And he gets the short dump pass, but they'll maybe gain about 5-6 yards on the play. And the pass was completed to Christopher Wiley, who's been doubling up as the quarterback also.
Well, we can see this little pass over the middle. Chris Wiley. Again, it was number 4 and 14, Jason Jones from Stella Walsh, and DeLorean White from Hamilton on the tackle.
4th down situation, and the AFC team will be punting the football. There's Brighton Hill. He'll be kicking the football off. coming up at halftime, we'll have Commissioner Wayne Moss in our halftime interview.
And he'll be talking a little bit about some things happening in recreation.
So Brighton Hill will kick this one. This one, oh, he just boomed that one, and that is picked up by Josh Verzi. Verzi runs to the near side, still on his feet, and he's finally brought down. And I don't know if it was the players who brought him down, but the flag, his belt loop kind of slipped down, so he may have tripped over his own flag.
First down, last play of the half.
Okay, so this is play number 12.
This will be a first down situation for the NFC team, which leads the ball game 6-0. Stay tuned, we do have one more game after this one. As the running back gets into the sidelines, and running the ball was Timothy Goodwin. One of his favorite players, Eric Metcalf, and he's trying to put some moves like that. And that play will end the first half here in the midget contest. So at halftime, the NFC leads it 6-0 over the AFC. And we will come back after this break. We'll hear from Commissioner Wayne Moss.
Sadness. Difficulty concentrating. Loss of interest. Depression can be treated. The first step is talking.
Hi, we're here at halftime of the Midget All-Star Flag Football game, and with us tonight we have the Commissioner of Recreation, Mr. Wayne B. Moss. Thank you for coming out tonight, Mr. Moss.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mr. Moss, is there an overriding theme or philosophy existing within the Division of Recreation since you've arrived on board?
I think the big thing is just trying to stay warm tonight. Now, the big thing, I think, is trying to provide quality service for youth in particular in our community, but certainly serving all segments. And, you know, we've been expanding our programs both in terms of the quality, but in terms of the numbers as well.
Okay. As far as recreation goes, has the numbers increased across the board? I see there's more programming for females as of late, and we do see witness of females playing tonight in flag football. Is that stretching throughout all the activities?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I think we do a relatively good job with the boys, but we've got a long ways to go with the girls. The girls program is expanding. We're in the middle of volleyball, as you know, right now, and I'm excited about that. But the thing that really thrills me is when I see these girls out here playing flag football. And somebody said to me today, we ought to have a flag football program for girls exclusively. So, hey, perhaps if we had the interest, we may see an all-girls flag football team.
Okay. That's good to hear. In 1995, with that coming up, is there any new additions within the recreation department or any upcoming events that we should know about?
I think the big thing that you'll see in recreation for 95 is not just an emphasis on recreation, but social service programs. We're going to be dealing with some girls' self-esteem programs. We'll be dealing with, you know, issues that I think not only affect the body, but also the mind.
And I also understand midnight basketball has gotten underway. Can you give us some background on the midnight basketball program as such?
Hey, midnight basketball is alive and well. We're back. We're at 4 sites this year. We've expanded by 2 sites, so we're serving 288 some odd young men between the ages of 18 and 25. Hey, so we're real excited about it. It's going to take us through the end of December, but we're also looking to come back in 1995 and run a spring session and also a fall session. So again, hey, we're looking forward to some expanded services.
So recreation is expanding from the little tots of midgets from 8 years old all the way to the older gentlemen with the midnight basketball program, correct?
No, actually, I'd go further than that. You know, certainly we like to have the tots involved, and starting at 5, and you'll see some of those in the tot flag football program and the instructional programs. You'll see that. With T-ball and so forth. But on the other end of the spectrum, hey, we also need to do a much better job with our senior programming, and we have been making strides with senior fitness programs at many of our rec facilities. But we want to see them at all of them, and I think that's the goal that we're trying to get to.
We want to thank you for your hands-on approach as far as being out here and supporting the activities for the Recreation Department, and we want to wish you much success in the future.
Hey, well, I appreciate you having me here. The only thing that I'm concerned about is it's been cold, and I'm wondering about your outfit here.
It's the look, Commissioner. It's the look. We'll be back with more flag football programming right after this.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
And welcome back to Elder Field here at Brookside Park. It's halftime in the midget ball game, and the NFC leads it 6-0 over the AFC, and just about set for second half action. We'll also have a special guest up here in our broadcast area. We'll have Commissioner Wayne Moss, who'll be inserting his comments of what's happening on, and we'll also find out a little bit more of what's happening in the City of Cleveland Recreation Department. Glad for you to stop up and join us up here. A little bit cold tonight.
Okay, we see here that there's a kickoff, and it's number 15 from the NFC. Coming out, taking a big stride here. Picks up about 15 yards.
Well, Commissioner Moss will be joining us. And Commissioner, just one of the programs you look at, there's always these constant programs in the city department, and what more can we expect in the City Recreation Department?
Well, first of all, hey, I think this was Tim's way of shutting me up. Hey, but it's not going to happen that easily. Hey, again, we're real excited to be here tonight.
There you see Josh Versey running up the middle. He's got some open room to the sidelines. One man to beat. He's still going down the sidelines, and he is brought down just at about the 2-yard line. Josh Versey making a great run down the sideline, starting up the middle, then cutting over, and just getting out of, and just being knocked down and tackled just about the 2-yard line. This will be very interesting, Tim, to see how the replay, on this replay, to see how that play developed. And also we have a young man down.
Again, one of the things that we need to point out, Adam, is that we went a step further with our recreation instructors this year by actually training them in first aid and CPR. So all our recreation instructors, as well as the people you see here officiating, they all have been trained in first aid and CPR so they can deal with these issues at their leagues.
Oh, that
youngster looks like number 1 from the AFC. It was Anthony Watkins from Kavasic. Okay, we see a missed tackle here, and we never want to look back. Just keep running forward. And we can see here Josh is trying to see who he can beat, and it was number 1, Anthony Watkins from Kavasic, that came up to make the tackle.
Well, on the play, 44-yard run for Josh Versey. So they'll have a first down with about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards to go for the touchdown. The handoff and the pass, and it's an incompleted pass as Timothy Goodwin is looking for his receiver, Brandon Mitchell.
Commissioner, we heard you talk about a lot of programs, and obviously there's a lot of direction and goals that you want to see the division head. Maybe you can share them with our viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we're looking to really move forward in a lot of the programs that we've established in the way of girls volleyball. Hey, I'm also excited about the indoor soccer that's coming up. You know, kids, playing soccer in the city, playing it off the walls in our rec centers, and why don't we cut back to this play and we'll get back to it.
Well, Farrell Knox has the football on the handoff, and I believe he's going to lose about a yard on the play. And one of the things, Commissioner Moss, when you talk about indoor soccer, that's one of the, soccer in general is one of the fastest growing sports. Over, I believe it's it's in the millions of the number of kids playing in the United States. And one of the things that soccer organizations are trying to do is get the inner city kids to play soccer.
Oh, without question. You know, and this is a game that I think the kids can get excited about because, hey, you're out there ripping and running. Unlike some other games, hey, kids really can just take off after it. So we're excited about really being involved with the soccer program. You know, if you look back to flag football, and Tim, you probably can address this, 14, 15 years ago, people probably looked at you and said, it's a crazy idea. Who's going to go out and play flag football? But here we are today, going on in all of our neighborhoods. And in that same kind of spirit, we're looking to see the same thing happen with indoor soccer.
Well, I mean, indoor soccer is a great sport, and you don't have to be a great athlete. All you have to do is just use the feet and kick the ball around, and that's one of the great things about indoor soccer. Well, it looks like the NFC team and Timothy Goodwin trying to get somewhere, but they lost a couple of yards on the last couple plays, and that time he picks up about 2 yards, and they'll have a 4th down situation. They will need to get into the end zone.
Well, you can see here he's looking to the right. Again, he gets some blocking, and again, he's going to try to get some speed to get to the outside. But again, it was number 1, Anthony Watkins, that came up to make the tackle from Kovacic Recreation Center.
We've called Mr. Watkins' number a couple of times. He's done a couple of great plays on defense. There goes Goodwin once again. This time he gets it off to Verzi, and he is stopped very short. And just Verzi showing some of the disappointment in not getting into the end zone.
That was a 4th down play. It's going to turn over to the AFC. And I guess just for history, Adam, this being the 2nd year of our All-Stars, we're looking right now at Josh Verzi from Estabrook being stopped by number 3 from the AFC, Aquil Seals from Clark Recreation. But just for the record, in all the games we've had play, you know this is an AFC city. And you know the AFC has won every game coming in, but the NFC has held on here 6-0 and played tremendous defense.
But the AFC defense, the last 2 times, they've had their backs against the wall, and they've come up with some good plays. Now they just need to get the offense on track. There goes the quarterback running down the sidelines, and that is Brighton Hill. Brighton Hill's going to go all the way. He's got 2 men chasing after him. There he goes. Touchdown. Touchdown AFC. 78 yards on the run by Brighton Hill.
Again, we talked about flag football gives you the person the athletic ability and to show some speed. And Brighton Hill from the Clark Jaguars comes out here and he goes right down the sideline. 1 missed tackle, and you can see here he's not looking back. He's looking strictly goal line all the way. Again, Brighton Hill is from the Clark Jaguars, 5th grader at Christian Community School. Favorite player, Emmett Smith of the Dallas Cowboys.
And he cut up from went to the line of scrimmage and then cut up just like Emmett Smith. Hill, 3 rushes in the ball game, 98 yards, credit 78 on that last run, and we're all tied up at 6.
Kind of looked like an Eric Metcalf running me.
Very similar to what he did against the Cincinnati Bengals. So we're all tied up at 6 as they go for the extra point. And the pass is knocked down. Very good defensive play there by the NFC.
Commissioner, we've talked recently about a lot of the sports, but a lot of our viewers may not have kids that really are into sports. Is there some programs that they can kind of look forward to coming up in the next couple months?
Yeah, without a doubt. We're really looking to beef up our cultural arts program. We've got a collaborative effort with NCA, Neighborhood Center Associations, that will be starting at 4 of our facilities in November at Corey, Glenville, Fairfax, and the fourth one is slipping my mind, but nevertheless, there'll be a variety of cultural arts activities. In addition to that, in January, we'll be hiring cultural arts specialists at all of our facilities. So youth in the community will have an opportunity to come in and do painting, ceramics, drama, dance, the whole 9 yards. So there'll be a lot of things coming to various rec centers in the community.
Well, the NFC will be kicking it, or make it the AFC will be kicking it off to the NFC. That one goes beyond the head of Josh Versey, and that's picked up by Thomas Freeman, or make that Timothy Goodwin. And Goodwin brings it up about 10 yards, but that was a very well kicked ball by the AFC. We're all tied up at 6 apiece in the third quarter of action here at Elder Field at Brookside Park. And there you see Goodwin getting the little handoff, found a couple of blocks, tried to go opposite, but the defense surrounded him. Jose Garcia making the tackle there for the AFC. So first down situation is about 5 yards to go for the first down. They get it to the short dump pass to Versey, who's got the first down, cuts in the middle, and he's finally brought down by Brighton Hill. There you see that quickness again. Little short pass, and it's just up to the receiver to go flying through.
Again, the coaches of the NFC, Don Kelbacher, very familiar with Josh Versey. You can see here, as a blocker out front, whack, oh, hit that kid. Nice cutback move over the middle, picks up a first down for the NFC.
That pass play was their first completion for the NFC in this ball game. Long lead pass, and a whole host of players underneath there, and it's knocked away. Good defensive play by the AFC.
Commissioner, we talked about cultural arts programs and sports, and I know that the aquatic season doesn't end. It's year-round with our pools. Maybe you can share some things that are coming up on the aquatic arena.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Our pool program, our outdoor summer pool program, gets a lot of publicity, particularly if they don't open up on time. You know, but we do it year-round. There are pools that are open, learn to swim teams. But one of the exciting projects that we've got going on in January will be water polo. It's something new. Kids will have an opportunity. Kids will have an opportunity to again get involved in a sport that's non-traditional in our inner cities.
Well, on that last play, Jason Jones running for about 5 yards, and on the replay, got a good block up front. Once again, the defense came in, making the play.
You know, one of the advantages, we've talked about the flag football, and we talked about the girls playing, the people that may have the weight issue, they can come out here and play in all different age groups. But really, it's really turned out to be a real safe sport that the kids really enjoy.
Running with the football, Damian Houston couldn't, or make that Pharrell Knox couldn't run one way, and that'll end the quarter. And that's something that's very interesting. You look at, when you look at the recreation departments, it's more than sports. You've got the cultural arts, and it's more of kids. It's a way of getting them off the streets, get them away from the bad habits, and to pick up and learn things.
The real future in Cleveland recreation is, you know, our rec centers need to become the hub of the community, to become a safe haven where kids in particular can come, know that it's a safe area, that there are progressive and good things, quality programs that are going on. You can come after school on Saturdays, on the weekends, and so forth. And really, you know, our rec centers.
Right there. We need to declare.
Well, we'll have a fourth down situation, and the team will have to declare if they're going to punt or not. And Commissioner Moss, you look at that, a lot of parents, a lot of homes, they have 1 or 2 parents that are working. The kids, they don't have any place to go, and I guess the recreation center is the best place to go. They can, you know, study, meet their friends, and learn something at those centers.
Yeah, absolutely, and again, it's getting much better. We've got more than 1 million people coming through our doors every year, and we're just finding that more and more we've got more girls coming, more seniors. It's really an exciting time for us.
Oh, the punt and taken by the AFC. They will get it about 10 yards shy of the midfield stripe, and they will take over on downs.
Commissioner, we've talked earlier just briefly, and maybe you can tell, there might be a lot of community residents that look at these programs. You know, we've been very fortunate with tonight. We have Rally Hamburgers as one of the main sponsors, Coca-Cola. A lot of them aren't corporate sponsors. They're just the ordinary citizens. What kind of things can they do to help the recreation department?
Yeah, well, Tim, as you know, hey, we need people who are willing to come out and to assist in coaching, to provide a presence in our facility. You know, as the programs expand, certainly our staffing levels are not always expanding to the same degree. So we have to hop and scrape and do everything we need to do to get it done. Hey, so we need the help of people who have interest in youth and taking care of our kids and that kind of thing to come in and help us.
Brighton Hill pitches it off to Akil Seals, who picks up about 4 yards, but there's a flag on the play. I think it might be an illegal formation.
You can see as the game has gone on, Adam, that the flow is picked up. The kids are now become more accustomed. And again, it's really a tribute to the coaches. They've only had one practice with the All-Star kids because a lot of these kids have been playing in their leagues right up to last week where they were in playoffs and trying to play for their league championships.
Well, now the referee will come up and give the infraction.
We have 2 penalties on the play. We have offsides, number 6, defense. We have hurdling. On number 3, offense. The penalty's offset. Repeat first down. First down, play number 2.
So offsetting penalties, and they'll replay first down. That's the second time we've had a hurdling call.
Hey, you know, we were trying to decide when we first started the program, what are we going to use for a signal for hurdling? We thought of the Heisman Trophy. That came close enough.
Brighton Hill runs to the sideline. He's got some room. He's got the speed. And he's finally brought out of bounds. And that is Nick Edelberg making the defensive play. And Brighton Hill just made a fine move to the outside. He scored in the earlier on a 78-yard run.
Say, Tim, how are you finding these kids getting along from various parts of the city, all playing on the same teams?
Well, Commissioner, you know, this is really the joy of watching this program. We've seen kids from all over the city come together to see the joy and the happiness, everyone getting along. I mean, truthfully, you know, Adam and I talked at the start about the excitement and the enthusiasm that the midgets bring, but we've seen the juniors, and we've now seen the midgets, and next will be the seniors, and really the camaraderie between kids from all over the city has really been the biggest asset to this whole All-Star event.
And I guess when you look at the teams and the players that make up, it shows you the diversity of cultures that the city of Cleveland the city of Cleveland has, and how they all get along. And you know, a simple game. It's just that how all these kids can get along and do something together in a positive manner.
Absolutely.
So we'll have a timeout on the field called by the NFC team. We're all tied up at 6 yards, and just to give you a couple of stats, both teams' total offense have gone over 100 yards. The AFC 119 yards in total offense, the NFC 107. Brighton Hill 4 rushes, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. And out of that 108 yards, you credit 78 on that 1 touchdown run.
You know, Commissioner, a lot of times things are done at centers that I know you and I both know that maybe it's not the ordinary program. Maybe it's holiday parties or things that are coming up. Maybe you can share with our viewers for the months of November, December, what kind of things they kind of look forward to on the special events in their centers.
Hey, at the end of October, we've got Big City Boo coming up, which is something that I'm very excited about. It's an opportunity for the rec centers to open up to the communities where kids can come in, do trick-or-treating, get treats, have parties, have a good time, and really can do it in a safe environment. Don't have to worry about, you know, razor blades in your apples and that kind of thing.
Well, the pass to Christopher Wiley was completed. They should get the first down, and that's a very interesting point, Commissioner, when you look at a lot of parents don't want their kids to go out trick-or-treating door to door, and you see more and more, not just Cleveland, but surrounding communities having consolidated trick-or-treating places for the kids to come, a lot safer and a more friendly environment.
Yeah, we're asking the parents to bring their kids. Some of the facilities will have a haunted house, or there'll be haunted houses at some of the facilities. And again, at each facility, hey, you can come, have a great time, get treats in the whole 9 yards.
Well, the AFC are going basically with a running game, Akil Seals, and I guess with those types of programs, it's also trying to get more of the parents involved.
Well, let me tell you, these are difficult times for youngsters and teenagers and that kind of thing. And certainly I think all of our institutions are trying to do their part in making this happen. But if, in fact, we don't have the involvement of parents and adults, it's going to be a difficult road to hoe. So I again, encourage all the adults and big brothers and big sisters to really be a part of, whether it's our program or other programs.
Brighton Hill looks to run to the far side. He has a couple of blocks, and he's finally brought down on the second down situation. Do you see more and more, as the more programs that you offer, do you see more parents and kids getting involved together where you didn't see that before?
I think what I see in Cleveland right now is a real mood of communities to take their community back, whether that happens to be a park or a playground or a program at a rec center or a drug house or whatever the issue is. I think people have clearly come to the point where they understand if they don't take a stand, their community and their neighborhood and their city is going to go down the toilet. And I don't think anybody wants to see that happen. And so I think there's a real spirit of involvement and volunteerism that we're seeing, not only in recreation, but in the city in general.
Pass is intercepted. Timothy Goodwin comes up after the tip was made. And Goodwin comes up with the interception, and the NFC will have the football as we are tied up at 6 apiece.
Again, we look here at the replay. There's been very few turnovers, but this is one of the big ones. They were coming in for a scoring drive, and it was Timothy Goodwin that came up with the interception from Thurgood Marshall, played there over there on the Fighting Irish.
David Cook making the play happen with the tip, so the tip drill works, and the NFC will have the football. First down, they do have an opportunity to go for the first down. Goodwin runs to the near side, shuts one block, another one, has the first down. There he goes down the sideline, and he's finally brought down by Markeith Williams. As Timothy Goodwin had a lot of daylight, but Markeith Williams comes up with the big defensive play, and Goodwin does pick up the first down.
Play number 9. Play number 9.
Well, again, we're looking here at the replay. They fake the reverse, and he comes right around in. And again, you're going to see Timothy Goodwin gets to the outside. He scored one touchdown earlier, but it was number 9, Markeith Williams, that came up with the saving tackle.
First down situation. Goodwin with the ball. He fumbles. And the AFC says they have it. And it's the AFC football. They come up with a big turnover.
Now again, we had talked to Adam earlier in the game about the fumble rule. Again, safety concern. Again, the officials didn't blow it dead, which means they felt there was no safety. Obviously, AFC's already on it. No harm's been done, and they have awarded the turnover.
Christopher Wiley picks up the fumble recovery for the AFC. Each team has a turnover in the ball game. We're tied at 6 apiece. And a timeout is called on the field.
Kids look like they've been playing together for a long time.
It's amazing how you see these kids. At first, it may be a little bit rough, but as the game progresses, they know how each plays, and they just do a great job playing together after only having just one practice.
These kids are really a tribute to our city, and it really reminds us that our future is bright.
Brighton Hill looks to throw the pass. The ball was knocked down by Jason Jones, who had the heavy rush. And here's a replay.
Well, we're going to take a look at it, and again, number 4 went up and actually hit the arm of the quarterback, which they could have ruled roughing the passer. Now I see a penalty on the play, and that's might be what they've actually called here. Again, the players are instructed it's flag. You want to be going for the belt. You shouldn't be going for the arm. We did see some plays where they were blocked, but basically when they go up,
we have 2 penalties on the play. We have offsides on the defense is declined. We have a personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, which was accepted. The roughing the passer resulted in a fumble that was blown dead because it was a dangerous situation. First down, blue, play number 10.
Another clear explanation from the referee. That's a 15-yard penalty. That's a big one, and it's also a first down for the AFC team, tied up at 6. Let's see what Brighton Hill can pull out of the bag of tricks. He's been able to run the ball very well, over 100 yards rushing. Looks to throw, short little dump pass. It's a little hook and ladder. And they got it back to Keel Seals. Now that's one of those that you see right out of the playbook of either the Miami Dolphins or the San Diego Chargers of the 80s. The old hook and ladder.
Well, let's take a look at it. Little catch, there it is, little toss, known as the hook and ladder play. Who says there's no creativity in all-star games?
And with the kids at this age, that is a great play. It was well executed. You had the trailing receiver, pass was complete, the trailing receiver in the pitch. You couldn't ask for, I haven't seen high schools or pro teams do that very well. I don't think Bill Belichick has that in his arsenal of plays for the Cleveland Browns.
Careful now.
Now wait a minute here. We said we weren't going to talk about the Browns because we know they're doing well. And when this airs, we want to keep saying the same thing.
Brighton Hill's going to go for the touchdown, and it is! Oh! Jose Garcia with the touchdown. Oh! 22 yards on the pass, and that was a pretty pass. Brighton Hill. There you see the pass. Perfect spiral in the air. And Garcia beat 3 defenders. Oh, wait a minute. Is it going to be a touchdown, or are they going to mark it at the 1?
No, the hands did go up.
Oh, he did go up? Okay.
They are setting it up for the conversion.
From that replay, it looked like he was just shy, that the tackle was just shy of the end zone.
What about?
Oh, he
we
got
can
in.
See right here, he's definitely
He got in.
And again, it was a pass from Brighton Hill.
They go for the extra point. And no good on the extra point, but that was a great pass by Brighton Hill. Brighton Hill connects to Garcia for a 22-yard touchdown. Hill is 6 of 8 for 38 yards, 1 touchdown pass, rushing 5 carries, 110 yards with 1 rushing TD. So Brighton Hill has had one whale of a ball game. The AFC, or the AFC scored on that one. And this will be the last play. This kickoff will be the last play, as the AFC is leading the NFC 12-6. Adam Mendoza, along with Tim Wells and Commissioner Wayne Moss of the division of the City of Cleveland Recreation Department. All right, and Brighton Hill will be kicking off. He's done everything for the AFC.
Well, it looks like the streak may stay alive here as the AFC City is still AFC alive here. Could be a perfect record in our flag football all-star games.
Long kick by Hill. That one is picked up by Giovanni Sturgis. Now they do a little bit of flipping it around, and that one will end the ball game as they got it finally to Timothy Goodwin. And that will be it. That is the last play of the ball game as the AFC wins it 12-6 over the NFC.
12, NFC 6.
There you see the last play of the game, and Sturgis just going with the pitches, trying to get as much yardage as they can, trying to score. And so once again, the final score, the AFC over the NFC 12-6. We'll take this break and we'll hear from our offensive and defensive players of the game as the AFC defeats the NFC 12-6. You're watching TV35 Sports.
Got a quarter?
right, we're here at the conclusion of the Midget AFC NFC flag football game, and we're here with the two most valuable players, offensive player Mr. Brighton Hill and defensive player Mr. Damian Houston. Brighton, congratulations for being selected as the most valuable player on the offense. From what I understand, you had a running touchdown as well as you threw for a winning touchdown to end the game. Congratulations. What school do you attend and how old are you?
I go to Christian Community School, and I'm 11 years old.
11 years old. How many years have you been playing within the City Flag football team?
About 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years. Out of your experience with playing with the city, what is one of your most memorable experiences playing?
Probably tonight.
Tonight? Winning the game in the championship?
Yeah.
Okay, well, congratulations. Now to Mr. Damian Houston, congratulations for being selected as the defensive most valuable player for the game. You had several tackles and you had a fumble reception, correct? And you also sacked the quarterback at one time throughout the games. Congratulations. What school do you attend and how old are you?
St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm 11 years old.
You're 11 years old. How many years have you been playing within the league?
This is my first year.
Your first year? With this being your first year, what is the most memorable experience for you?
My championship game.
The championship game? Well, congratulations to both of you. We hope you continue on within the flag football program, okay? Okay. Back to Tim and Adam with more flag football.
Thanks, Desiree. There you see the two young gentlemen playing fine ball games at Brighton Hill, who had an outstanding offensive performance, throwing for the winning touchdown and also running for one touchdown, as Desiree joins us up here.
Desiree, you've got some great guests here today. And we have, Desiree, are you up now? Okay. One of the things we wanted to really take time out is that we know you've taken some special time here coming out and keeping this alive. But one of the things is you are the girls volleyball chairman.
Yes, I am.
Hey, just tell our viewers, we've been talking about a lot of the events, but girls volleyball, what do they have looking forward to as far as special events?
Well, right now we're almost at the conclusion of the season, and we've had a lot more participation than we actually expected with this being just the second year. We've gone from a one league last year with 9 to 13-year-olds to now expanding it to 9 to 12-year-olds, and now we have a separate league for 13 to 16-year-olds. We're getting participation and support from the parents, and coming up in December we will have a championship round as well as an all-star match scheduled for the girls.
So we're going to see a lot of action. Now,
definitely.
One of the things we noticed is when you were down here before, you didn't have that jacket on. So I'm wondering if the heat's been turned off.
The commissioner jinxed me. That's what it was.
Okay. Well, Adam, it's been really a great game.
Well, we've had a great one. The AFC coming back on a last play for a touchdown. They win it 12-6. We've got one more game coming up. That is the seniors, and these kids are 15 to 17-year-olds. That one will be a great ball game. You'll see a lot of athletes playing in this next ball game. So the final of this game, the AFC Midgets win it 12-6 over the NFC. We'll take this break and we'll come back. You're watching TV 35 Sports.